Hello, everybody. It's Royce Eddings here, and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel, The Four Horsemen, your ultimate guide for all things rock and roll, classic rock, some heavy metal thrown in. We're celebrating the legendary artists on this show, the timeless albums, the iconic anthems that defined generations of music lovers. We cover the music you love and the stories behind it and the history that made it happen. Okay. So we're going to get started. We got a fun little show here tonight. This is a pre recorded show. And the title of this show is Frank Zappa and Black Sabbath, The Unexpected Connection. Sabbath Bloody Zappa. Okay. And I discovered pieces, bits and pieces of this story, interviews, things like that, and put my own story together. And so here we go. Frank Zappa's favorite Black Sabbath song in the mid 70s was Supernaut. From the album I have back here behind me, Volume 4, Supernaut, Zappa had high praise for Supernaut, as being a classic example of style and for being well put together, but especially for its guitar licks. He absolutely loved the guitar licks. The endorsement by Zappa actually, helped shift the critics' view on Black Sabbath, which wasn't super positive at the time, to say the least. He later changed his favorite Sabbath song to Iron Man, calling it an absolute work of art, everybody. A work of art. He loved that song. Um, but Supernaut was his specific pick at the time of his major endorsement of the band, Supernaut. Zappa once told Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler that it featured the best riff he'd ever heard. Zappa said it was the best riff he ever heard on Supernaut. Sabbath benefited from Zappa's enthusiasm. Sabbath bassist and lyricist Geezer Butler, a Zappa fanatic who says his musical life completely changed when he first heard Zappa's Mothers of Invention at the age of 15 years old. Okay, Geezer Butler also credits Zappa's endorsement of Supernaut with, changing the critics' attitudes, as I mentioned earlier, toward the band. When Zappa said it was the best riff he'd ever heard, and a lot of critics started to reconsider Sabbath, the feeling was, well, if Zappa likes Black Sabbath, maybe we should give Sabbath another listen. Let's give him another listen. Maybe we've been wrong all along. Okay. In 1974, Zappa had invited Sabbath members to dinner. Ozzy recounted, Frank Zappa, he was a very techno guy, invited us to a restaurant once where he was having a party, and he said, the song Supernaut is my favorite track of all time. I couldn't believe it. Fuck me. I couldn't believe it. I thought, this guy's taking the piss. There got to be a camera here somewhere, says Ozzy. All of us looked up to Zappa, especially Geezer, because it seemed like he was from another planet. At the time, he just released this quadraphonic album called Apostrophe, which I have a copy of, I'm happy to say, which had a track on it called Don't Eat the Yellow Snow, a fucking classic. Iron Man. By the late 1970s, Zappa preferred Iron Man. Okay. Zappa and Black Sabbath never released a formal studio collaboration, but they were close personal friends who nearly performed together on stage. And that we're going to go into that story next. The most significant near collaboration, well, this occurred in 1976. I'll refer to it as the Madison Square Garden incident. Okay. On December 6, 1976, Zappa was scheduled to join Black Sabbath on stage at Madison Square Garden to jam. They were going to jam on songs like Paranoid, Iron Man. However, the performance never happened due to technical difficulties. Specifically, guitarist Tony Iommi was having major issues with his guitar, his tuning. Instead of playing, Zappa walked on stage to introduce the band as the rocking teenage combo known to the universe as Black Sabbath, and then watched the show from the side of the stage. Okay, so what do we know about Zappa's live covers of Black Sabbath? Well, bassist Geezer Butler has claimed in his autobiography that Zappa performed live covers of Supernaut um, and Iron Man during his own shows. While recording evidence of Supernaut is scarce, Zappa did famously play Iron Man during a guest AG set for BBC Radio 1 in 1980. There was also a strong personal friendship between Zappa and Sabbath. Zappa was a local vocal supporter of the band, often inviting them to dinner, and including the 74 meeting and his third annual Thanksgiving banquet in 1976. Geezer Butler cited Zappa's Mothers of Invention as a major musical and lyrical inspiration. Okay. So let's talk about the Madison Square Garden bootleg from 1976. Okay, well, the planned 76 collaboration, which we just talked about, failed because of technical difficulties. A famous Black Sabbath bootleg titled Archangel features the audio from that night, December 6, 1976. The tape captures Zappa's spoken introduction where he announces the band as the rocking teenage combo known to the universe as Black Sabbath. Following the intro, the band performs Superstar from the album Sabotage, but Zappa does not join in on guitar for the rest of the set due to the technical issues mentioned previously. Okay, while full covers are rare, despite Geezer Butler's claims in his memoir, Into the Void, I have that book. It's a great book. I highly recommend Geezer Butler, bassist lyricist for Black Sabbath's book, autobiography, Into the Void. Great book, okay? Okay, Into the Void, he says that Zappa performed full versions of Supernaut and Iron Man. Well, live, of course. No complete soundboard or audience recordings has surfaced to verify this. Most Zappa experts believe Butler may have been, misremembering the live quotes or private jams as full concert performances. What happened was that Tony Iommi had some trouble with his guitar that night, decided to change the strings at the last minute. The audience had already been sitting there waiting for an hour or so since Ted Nugent, and they wanted me to go out there and make an announcement and calm them down. So I did, and I introduced them. I sat by the side of the stage. This is Zappa, of course, talking, over by Ozzy's Orange Juice. I sat there and marveled at it. I think it's great, especially in a place like Madison Square Garden with 20,000 people grunting and wheezing and shoving each other. I only recall the night a bit differently. Frank was introducing the band. He wanted to play as well. We put his stuff on stage, but he had a really bad night. Okay, this is Iommi speaking, of course. He said, we had a really bad night. Frank was waiting to walk on stage, and I thought, he can't. Iommi speaking, he can't. It's disastrous. Everything is going wrong. My guitar is going out of tune. There's noise and crackles, and God knows what. So I said to him, it would be best if you don't really play. Iommi told Zappa. Sadly for us, Zappa only enjoyed the show from the sidelines rather than on stage. And now, some 45 years later, folks, we can only dream of what might have been the night Zappa was supposed to play with Black Sabbath. Oh my God, would I love to have a recording of that. Zappa stated he liked Sabbath because Black Sabbath moves people, he said. They're in the same boat as Grand Funk in terms of what the critics say about them, but critics bands like Aerosmith just don't compare to Black Sabbath. I prefer modality. Black Sabbath is the archetype of this style, the hardcore. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. This is my little short pre-recorded video for today. two of my favorite artists, Black Sabbath, Frank Zappa. I love to put stories together like this. You know what? Do me a proper, hit that like button. It helps the show get distributed to a wider audience. And please, if you're not already a subscriber, there's an on-screen subscribe button. Just hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like a one-time notification when each new show is coming on, just hit that notification bell. So we would really appreciate you hitting the like button. Really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. We have hundreds of videos like this. We have a live, we go live every Sunday evening, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, with the show that averages about an hour and a half, all rock and roll content with a full panel, the Four Horsemen. There's four of us. And so we're live with the Four Horsemen with a live chat. And of course, these pre-recorders have a live chat as well. So we're having a lot of fun. We have hundreds and hundreds of videos for you to enjoy. Some of them short like this, some of them hours long. So check us out, subscribe to the channel, and that's what's happening in Royce's world today. Thank you all so much for joining us. You are so appreciated.